Hi guys. Ooh, I made it blurry. Happy Thursday. Thank you for your patience. This morning has been, it never goes the way that you plan it. That's just life. So, I had a whole game plan of like all the things that I was going to do and then things changed. So like when I tell you I put minimal effort in to get ready, I mean it. um, but I do have a game plan for the card, at least not so much for myself. But so this is the new release from Pretty Pink Punch. This is their Halloween release. It's super adorable. I did a video on this one here, and this was last week, I think, was just like a sweet little, like, sweet, not spooky kind of card. Hi, Denise. Hi, Susan. And so in the release, they did the fun little window, which I think you can use for so many things. I love a versatile die. You know this. I love a versatile stamp. I love versatility and things we invest in. But so anyway, so I thought it would be fun to do these cute little ghosts in the window. And then they have like the cloud stencil, and these are like some spooky trees. The spooky trees also have dies. I just don't have those. So we're going to use the stencil, and it's got like a little hill slope to create our scene. I also have, where are they? We used them last week, didn't we? I also have like a little hill slope die. I don't know if we'll need that, and she has grasses. She's got a lot of stuff for scene building, which I love. So that's kind of the game plan. And then I thought that it would be fun. I will have to see how the engineering comes together, because you guys know engineer I am not. I have these little twinkle lights from Pear Blossom Press, and I thought that might be a little fun to do some little twinkly lights in the background. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how it all comes out. My desk camera is mirrored. Thank you, Tanya. Let me see if I can fix it. Customize. Nope. Mirror camera. Oh, that's better. Am I also mirrored? I am. Let's flip me around too. I wonder if it's like a default setting, because I don't recall setting that. But thank you for letting me know. And now it's fixed. All right. So I'm going to take me down, down to the corner here so that we can start working on our things. So I think we could do this a couple of different ways, because the light has to like diffuse through vellum in order for it to kind of shine its brightest. And so we could either do the ghosts out of vellum and then, do the coloring on there, which might be a little bit of a challenge for an attachment. Or we can use this window and do the window part out of vellum. But then our whole scene's going to be it's going to look like a frosted window. Oh, joy, how fun. So, all right, let me work that out, because I think there is a way to make that work. Let's do a test. Let's do a test. Let me see if I have a scrap. I do. All right, so let me see. They have, what are they called? Sticky spots? But where did I put them? Oh, they're out of the bag. Let me see if we can see these. behind the vellum. If we cannot, that may be an option to adhere the ghosts. You can see it, but it's not actually that terrible. If we tried to position them behind the parts that would be colored, I think we're going to try it. It may or may not work, but I think we should give it a go. Do you have acetate? Of course Denise, this is not your first day here. Of course I have acetate, but it doesn't diffuse the light the same way. All right. Let us get our things out so that we can start our well, let's do our stamping first. That makes the most sense. And we're going to stamp on our vellum. When I tell you, y'all, that my desk is an absolute disaster because I have not cleaned up after any projects, I am not over exaggerating. I am not over exaggerating. All right. So we have our vellum. And then I think I'm going to end up stamping these the best way to stamp them on let me scoot this over, sorry. The best way to stamp them on a slick surface would be StazOn, but then I won't be able to color them. And I don't like that. Because I want to be able to color them. So let's see. Maybe I can color behind them. I bet you that might be an option. Nope. Where did I? Back in the back of the drawer? Where is it? That's version marker. Where did it go? That's white. Did I use and not? Oh, there it is. I don't know why it's over there, but whatever. It's that kind of day. Oh, hi, Brandon. Yeah, today is just that kind of day where nothing's going to go right for me. But that's all right. Okay. I do love the way this smells. It smells like almond extract to me. Okay. Before I was a person who colored, I know you guys think that probably didn't ever happen, but I'm honest with you when I tell you that I did not use my alcohol markers for a very long time. So before I was a person who colored, I used to use nothing but, oh, look at that, came out really good. Yay. That's a win for us. I used nothing but Ranger's archival ink. which smells very similar to StazOn. Okay, so we got a pretty good impression. I'm pretty happy with that. Now I am going to put like a little buffer piece. It does smell like that. All right, so I'm going to turn this over and we're going to color it from the back. Okay. And I'm going to use alcohol markers to do that. Now, obviously, we're coloring on vellum, so we're not going to get the same kind of depth and blending and stuff that we normally would, but that's okay. We're going to have a lot of other things going on in the scene, so I don't think we need to stress over the blending and things that we get on our little ghosts. I am going to make this a little bit darker because it's a night scene. All right. Now I'm going to do a little purple for this hat band, I think. And then normally when I would be coloring something black, like I would take the time to like do all of the shading out from like a medium gray out to black, because I wouldn't want to lose the outline. But because when you're coloring on a non-porous surface, it already is not as dark or is not as solid, I'm just going to go in with the black. Okay. I am being careful. Okay. All right. Somebody tell me, is candy corn white, orange, and yellow? White, yellow, and orange. What is the order of the candy corns? Does anybody know? I'm going to tell you a truthful thing. I do not eat the candy corn. I know it's like a thing for people that they love the candy corn, but I cannot get behind it. White, yellow, orange. Katrina, you're the best. Oh, yeah, and you're leaving. You're awesome. Thank you. All right, she says white, yellow, orange, and I believe her. So we'll do the orange down here at the bottom. And then the yellow. That is dried up. I need to refill that marker. I don't know where my other one. Oh, I have two of those. There we go. Here's the other one. Okay. White, yellow, orange. And then this broom. I was going to do this broom. Yep. Well, I guess I can still do it yellow. Just seems very bright. White, orange, yellow. I just Googled it. Oh no. Well, ours is white, yellow, orange. No candy corn for Charlotte either. Yeah, you guys can have my portion. But my kids, what were my kids eating the other day? A high chew, I think is what it was called. And I was like, let me try one. But it's no good. All right, so here's from the front side. I think that's really cute. All right, so now then from there, we should be able to do our die cutting. Hi, Jennifer. Don't worry, we're always late around here. girl. We are always later on here and we don't know what's happening. So you're perfect. You love High Chews? Girl, it tasted like plastic. I cheated and looked at card examples for the release. Is that a cheat? Why is that cheating, Denise? All right. So maybe we might be able to go with the more interesting one. The more interesting window. Peeling these things off, I'm always like, I'm going to tear the packaging. Love High Chews, especially the strawberry ones. Oh my gosh, guys. Oh, well, I am a chocolate girl. But I mean, I'll eat a Skittle. I'll eat a chewy sweet tart. Stop it. I could eat the whole bag of chewy sweet tarts. Like, I like all kinds of sweets. I really don't discriminate, but those things were not good. But also, I will say that probably my palate has changed quite a bit. Because of like me having to change my diet with the hypothyroidism and the Hashimoto's and stuff. So my palate could be off. All right, so we're going to do the window white, the ghosts. I'm going to do the sky. So that's going to be like a navy. And then the spooky trees will be a dark brown or a black. So the inside of the house should be, maybe we'll do, that's a bold. I was going to say maybe we'll do an orange, but that's bold. That's a bold color choice. Maybe we'll just do a lighter blue. Oh, Denise, I hate Skittles. Chewy Sweet Tarts are delicious. When my mom was in the hospital, I was blowing through some Chewy Sweet Tarts. All right, let's go with a lighter blue for our... And then that way we can always color it if we don't want to. So for the inside of the house or the wallpaper, I'm going to use this Argyle pierced plate for the background here. They have a lot of really pretty cover plates. Paulina does. So you could use any of those, or you could use a background stamp if you wanted. But we're just trying to do like a tone-on-tone pattern to add interest to the inside of the house. You know, since we're looking at the outside and all the little ghosties flying around. Or maybe it's their house. Maybe it's a haunted house and it's theirs to begin with. All right, line that up and tape that. I usually do tape that from the back to the front when I'm doing a cover plate like that. All right. I don't know if I'm going to use this banner or not, so I'm going to wait to see for the sentiment what we end up going with. There is a sentiment, like the sentiments in here that are like boo, spooky wishes, trick or treat. So I'm not 100% sure on the sentiment. There is maybe this one I think is adorable. I really had a hard time picking because I have so many ideas for all of the products. So this one has like the little candy buckets. Love this. But it has this trick or treat here. I might use that sentiment. We will return to this. Okay, so white. We need to cut out the ghosts. I'm not doing any of the cutouts for the background. That's all stenciling. So I really think that's it. Okay. Let's get these ghosts cut out. I like a little hard candy that you can buy at our local Chinese restaurant. They're mango flavored. Don't know the name because they're written in Chinese. I don't know what that is. I do like hard candy. When we went to Tennessee to see my nephew, it's this one, Kelly, in Knoxville, they did have like a little general store type kind of situation. And I did buy some hard candy. I bought wild cherry, I bought lemon drops, and I bought horehound. The horehound kind of tastes like root beerish if you've never had it. But I actually bought that for one of the guys I used to work with because he used to bring it in all the time. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get this for Dennis. All right. So let's tape our things. You went to, oh yeah, I think it was Mass General. I'm only 20 minutes away. Susan, stop it. Okay, well listen, Susan, I did not know that, but now that I do, when I come back down there for his graduation, we'll have to get together. Yeah, girl, I was all over that area. We did a lot of shopping. I really, really enjoyed like they have like this general area with a farmer's market. The downtown square, Market Square, was that what it's called? I don't know. It was really fun. Hi, Jeanette. Well, I'm glad you got off early today and you could make it. I love butterscotch and root beer hard candies. Yes, I do love butterscotch. When I took Caitlin to swim, when you leave there, they have like 25 cents you get 2 pieces of candy, and they have Dum Dum suckers, and I most assuredly did walk out with a butterscotch one because they are so good. All right. Oh yeah, look at that, Susan. You're so close. Have you shopped at Bucky? Girl, we had. I did stop at Buc-ee's on the way home. We had an incident at Buc-ee's. It was fine. We got the kids' t-shirts. All right. So let's do the die cutting. Let me see. I'm such a cheapskate. Yeah, but here's my beef with Buc-ee's, okay? I live in Ohio, okay? And we have a large Amish population. And closer to Amish country is Beaver Creek, okay? And they decided to build a Buc-ee's in Beaver Creek. And there is a local store that it's like a little corner, like mom and pop type situation. And they have a beaver on their sign because it's Beaver Creek, guys. And Buc-ee's is suing them because they said that people could confuse their little mom and pop shop with the beaver on the sign with Buc-ee's. So they are suing this little mom and pop shop, which I think is abhorrent. And so, yeah, me and Buc-ee's are done. I won't be supporting them. I don't care. I don't care how convenient it is or how nice their bathrooms are, which they are very, very nice. But yeah, I can't support that. That's awful. All right. I was able to scooch them in. So now I don't have to use another piece of cardstock. Nope. One of mine got away. I got to fix it. Yeah, exactly. It is just mean. I agree. Like, there's no way somebody is going to confuse their little mom and pop store just because it has a beaver on the sign with your enormous company. Like, that's just not reasonable. And apparently, I didn't read, I just read the one article about it. But after reading the article, they did state in there that this is not the first time that Buc-ee's has done that. That they've taken other smaller businesses to court. The problem is not that, will they win? Probably not. But because they are such a larger corporation, they could bankrupt the smaller mom and pop shop just for them trying to fight it out in court. Yeah, it's terrible. So, because we had that issue in our own industry several years ago where there was a bigger company that was taking a lot of smaller companies to court and were essentially bankrupting them. And so I don't do business with them either. All right. So let's do this. Okay. These little ghosts are too cute. Okay, we didn't have any issues cutting through that. These, for some reason, and I don't know why, it's giving me like Shrinky Dink vibes being cut, like with us cutting them out of vellum. I do not know why, but I am here for it. Okay. And then this is the base of the window. And then our cover plate. So typically with cover plates, because like these ones are actually doing some cutting, I like to go one way and then back through. And then if that doesn't get us where we need to go, because like you have to remember, this is a very large die. It's covering a very large surface area. So then we can just check it and see if you feel like you need some more. You need it hasn't cut all the way, flip it this way, or you can even do it kind of like at an angle, and this just changes the areas where there's more pressure, which can help it cut all the way. So really, I think it's fine the way that it is. I'm just showing this for your benefit. All right, so see, now we had a lot more holes that popped out, and then this part where we wrapped it around, I just popped that off the die. And then I did just paint my nails last night, so hopefully I don't like scrape the purple pink. What is this? I think it's called Dahlia. There we go. But if you can just get an edge up, then because it's a low tack tape, it typically does just peel right off and doesn't damage the paper. Or honestly, nobody's going to see it. You can leave it on there. There we go. All right, so this is going to act as our wallpaper here, this little Argyle. Isn't that adorable? Does anybody remember back in the day, this was probably like late 90s, early 2000s, Argyle was very in. I cannot even tell you. I don't know, because we were all going to the clubs in like business casual. What a time to be alive. But anyway, so I own so much Argyle. So much. All right. Okay, let's pop our little ghosts out. I love them. These are the cutest. Look at this adorable little ghost. All right. I have no idea if the light thing is going to work, but I have no regrets over making these little vellum ghosts because just look at them. They are the cutest thing. I can't get over them. I cannot get over them. They are adorable. I love them so much. Okay. All right. I have to move on. You have to move on, Kelly. You have to move on. But they are cute. They're bringing me joy. All right. So then there's this. And what did I just do with that? Oh, it fell. I used to have socks and vests, right? God, Argyle was everywhere. You could make them super tiny if you did them in shrink plastic. You could make your own shaker bits. All right. So here's this. This one is stuck in here. So I will use the, well, it's a die release tool, but in my house we call it the stabbing tool. I'll use my stabbing tool to get my window out. Okay, so then my window is going to be out like this. Okay, and then we'll have our little window there at the bottom, and then we'll have our little ghosties. Stop it. They're so cute. All right, so now we got to build our background so that it looks like they're outside and not flying on the Argyle wall. All right, so in order to do that, we did cut this piece, and I am going to use the die. I'm going to use the die to trace it. If I can find a pencil, if my children have not run off with all my pencils. Oh, look, we lucked out. And so this is going to tell me where exactly I need to put all of my, I am positioning it up a little bit higher so that I have room for my window down here, or my, what is that? Why can't I think of the word? You know, the sill, the window sill. Okay. And this doesn't have to be perfect because ultimately we're going to cut it out. So we're not really worried about like the extras outside here. We're more concerned about making sure our scene is centered. All right. So now let me get my stencils. And figure out what we're going to do here. All right, so these are the trees, and then they have the additional, the tree pieces so that you could fit them in here to use just the hill, like so that they would be masked off. Does that make sense? So you just pop them in there and it masks. So you don't have to worry about getting ink where you don't want it. So so if we do this, and then we do like a little cloud moment down here, like little low clouds. Then we could do our trees. And then maybe we could do a moon. Wouldn't that be fun? Let me see if I can find a circle die. little too big. All right. Okay. So I just have a little circle die, and then I'm going to cut that out of some masking paper. If I can find my masking paper. Oh, I'm bumping into stuff. No. Stay up there. There we go. All right. So, just have some masking paper, and I will cut my little die out of here. I don't even need the whole thing. I'm just going to cut off a little square. Just enough to die cut our moon out. Okay. I like the color of your room on the back. Thank you. It's like I can't remember the name of it because we painted it a long time ago. Spa, maybe, I think is what it was called. All right. So let me just run that through. For the stencils, I am going to use a cling mat, but I am also going to spray them with a little bit of pixie spray. If you're not familiar with the pixie spray, oh, my back just popped. See, look at my back just popped off, which is fine. But I didn't want you to be like, how do we stick it down? Because the back has already come off. The pixie spray is just like a little light tack glue spray. So, all right, so I'm going to do the little moon up here. Stick that down. All right. And then here is the pixie spray. You want to shake it up first, and then you just kind of lightly spray it. I am going to do it over my garbage can. And that's just going to help them to stay in place. You don't want to be super heavy-handed with it. Okay, and then I'm going to get this one as well. Oh. Inadvertently sprayed the front of it. I should have been looking. That's all right. Fortunately, the pixie spray doesn't stay forever, so I don't have to be overly worried about it. All right. But it is nice to have if you have more intricate detail type stencils. And then I'm going to grab this. Let me put this over here so I don't lose it. And we're going to gather up our little ghosts. Our frame. There's that and that. All right. Okay, so I'm going to put this down. And so when we do the ground, we want to flip this upside down. And the reason we're doing this one first is because I gotta grab my trees so I can stick them back in there. is because then when we do the clouds will also cover this area, so we don't have to worry about that moving. All right, just going to pop those guys back in there. And we do want to remember, since we're doing a night scene, okay, that our grass is going to be darker. I'm going to put this, I don't want to lose my little tree. I don't need it, but I don't want to lose it. So I'm going to put that over there. So our grass is going to be darker. So that doesn't mean that we don't use any sort of lighter color. It just means that we are heavier handed with our darker colors because we need that to kind of show where our shadows are going to be. So those are our colors there. I might not have grabbed the lightest one. That's a medium. That's a dark. I think I might need or did I grab all three? Oop. Dropping stuff. No. Oh, I did, and it was blocked up. Okay. All right, so this is going to be our hill for our little trees to be on. So we're going to start with the Twisted Citron. Just making sure that we're starting off the page here. Okay. And then we're going to go to Mowed Lawn. I'm going to leave this top edge nice and light. So I'm going to be adding it kind of from the bottom and then bringing it up because we have that bright moon that's going to catch the top of the hill. And illuminate it. Okay. Now this is like a nice day hill. Okay. We want a nice night hill. So when we come in now with our rustic wilderness, we're going to bring this up a lot higher than we normally would. I did see it. Look at, because I was getting impatient. I didn't start off the page. That's how that happens. We have to start off the page. All right. I'm not overly worried about it. I'll make sure I put a tree on top of it. And then where did I put my... Stand by. Did I leave it in? I thought I got it out, but did I leave it in here? I'm looking for black soot. That's what I'm looking for. This is the problem when you have so many colors, because then you can't locate them easily. Where would they be? Oh, they're up here. That makes sense. There was already blues that were grouped together. Okay. All right. And then we're going to do the black down here at the bottom. Okay. And then you guys know how we roll here. We go in the reverse. So from the black to the rustic wilderness. To mowed lawn. Just really want to saturate that color. And then the Twisted Citron. Okay. So now we can go ahead and remove that. I did not wet my washcloth before I came in here, because why would I be prepared? So actually, it's going to be easier if I just go do it. So give me 2 seconds. I need helpers. Like, I could be like, hey, go wet my washcloth. Hey, go do my we're a one-woman show around here. Okay. All right, so that's that. And then I'm just going to pop this off so I can wipe this off, so that way when we're doing the sky, I'm not picking up any green. Okay. Oh, I forgot these little, got to get these little trees. All right, so there's that. Denise, those are from Trinity, and they are my favorite blending brushes, especially if we're putting down a lot of color. I mean, I still use the other, like, different ones are good for different things, but the most often I use those because I am impatient and they put down a lot of color really well, really fast. Okay. All right. So there's that. And so now we're going to do our sky. You could use any of these clouds. I do have a tendency to like the bigger ones. I'm going to go like middle of the road. Okay. Just some middle of the road clouds. All right. So now I'm going to do Salty Ocean, Prize Ribbon, Chip Sapphire, and then Black Soot. This is going to be our sky colors. Where's my... That's purple, not blue, Kelly. Blue, 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 black. Okay. I am also going to get a sip of tea. Okie doke. All right, so if we did not have the moon, I would do lighter toward the horizon, darker as it came up. But because we have the moon, I'm going to do lighter around the moon and then darker as it comes out. But first, we're going to do the Salty Ocean kind of all over. I'm going to start over here because this is going to be the darker area. So as I'm building up the color, we do need a little bit of, like, we can't put no ink there because then the moon wouldn't shine white. We're just going to keep it light though. Know what I'm saying? Just keep it light. Start off your paper. Okay. Sapphire. Your birthday's at the end of August. Connie, when's your birthday? My birthday's at the end of August too. My birthday's at the end of August and my wedding anniversary is at the beginning of September. So they're like back to back. Okay. And then black soot. Yeah, my kids go back. Well, Nathan goes back next week. We actually have his open house for school tonight. And then we picked up his schedule yesterday. And then little Jelly Bean is going into preschool, if you can even believe it. And so she goes back. She starts in September. You're the 30th. I'm the 31st. We're almost birthday twins. Thanks, Susan. All right. So now we went all the way out to the black. And now we're going back through. Moving closer to the moon. Nope, we're going this way, Kelly. Okay. I'm going to just bring a little bit of this around the back. And then the salty ocean. And I know it seems silly to like go back over these other colors with the salty ocean, but I'm telling you, it adds such a brightness that isn't there when you don't, because those other colors are so desaturated. All right. Am I happy with that? I think so. I think once we get the... All right. So now you know that we cannot leave well enough alone. And we will be adding spatters as soon as I find my spatter brush. Stand by. There it is. So weirdly, you had two uncles born on the 31st. So when I was in school, I actually became friends with two kids that both had August 31st birthdays. One of them was a year older than me. And then one of them was actually on the same exact day, weirdly, in the same hospital. So we always, like all three of us always celebrated our birthdays together, like within our group of friends. All right, so here we go. I also love scene building, and I feel like sometimes, like because we're getting away, I'm just adding a little bit of water because I'm going to do the titanium white gouache for our stars. I feel like our industry has changed so much with the addition of different things, different types of tools. And so there's some things I feel like are becoming a lost art, which makes me sad. I'll be honest, it makes me sad. All right, so I'm going to use regular clean water here. And that's because I'm using Distress ink. So we're going to have a couple of different layers of stars. So this is just going to bleach out some of them. They'll be like very distant stars. Okay. Then I'm going to do some Perfect Pearls in the color Perfect Pearl. All right, where's my, there it is. Scoop some of that in there. Okay. And we're going to add a little bit of water. Nope. And then we'll mix that up. And these are going to be like shimmery stars. And they'll catch the light. And you'll be able to see them in different ways. I did not prepare with a rinsing bowl, so please give me 1 second. Okay. Do you have to set Perfect Pearls? Connie, Perfect Pearls set with water, so when you're using them this way, they're already set once they're dry. So you don't have to worry about it. If you're using them as like pouncing, which I do love to use them that way. If you are using them that way, then you do want to set them, and you can do that with just a spritz of water over, like I spray it and then kind of like wave my card through it. All right. So then here, this is the gouache. We've added a little bit of water just to thin that down to make it so that we can splatter it. So you can see, I don't know if you can see over here, but like when we first pick it up, we have quite big spatters. So if you don't want big spatters, then you want to tap it off beforehand, and then you'll bring it here to your card and then splatter it. And these will just be the more opaque white stars. If you are like, hey, I really don't love the placement of my stars and I want to have one here, have one there, we can also always get that with a white gel pen after the rest of this is dry. So that is an option as well. All right, so now I'm going to clean that up. Paper towel. Okay. And then we will remove our clouds. Look at how adorable that is. I do love that. And we will be using, you can use tweezers or your stabby tool or your fingernail if they're not painted like mine are. I am going to kind of start up here to be able to like get it where I can grab it, because I don't want to, there we go. And there's our moon. Okay. So I am going to, I would like to add a little bit of shading to my clouds, but here's the thing. Okay, we have this hill here. So we can kind of do this one of two ways. We can risk it. All right. See, like make sure we dry it down and then go in over top, but it will kind of dull our sparkle there for our hill. Or we can trace this onto a piece of masking paper, trim it out and put it on there. That is also an option so that we can have that masked. We could do it with just tape. I am going to opt for the quick tracing. Okay, this is just a masking tape. I'm going to put that on there. I can see through it. I know it's probably more difficult on the camera. I can see through it. I'm just going to line my stencil back up here. And then I'm just going to take a pencil and follow that line. And then that way I can just very quickly trim that out. And then you can always save this if you wanted to. And then that way you could just keep it with your stencil and you would have the opposite mask. Okay. And then we'll just put that right there. And it, of course, matches perfectly because we traced it and made it nice and easy. And so then I'm going to use, I'm not going to ink this up. This is just the Salty Ocean one that I used before. I'm going to start off the page and then I'm going to bring it up. I'm also going to, so I have one that has purple on it, which will give us like a more of a blue violet-y color. And this is a seasoned ink blender. If you don't have one that's seasoned, you would just ink it up with your color, purple, and then just blot it off until you had like a nice soft blend. And then here we have a little bit of shading onto our clouds. So now the last thing that we're going to do is do a couple of trees. So I'm going to put this one over here. I'm actually going to scoot it over so it completely covers that. Okay. There we go. Okay. And then I am going to use this to mask this part up here. And then, all right, there we go. And just mask those off. So for our browns, do I have another brown? Maybe, maybe not. Oh, I might have to. That's black, which I have. Where's my big brown one? I know that you exist. Where are you hiding? Oh, it fell down. Okay. All right, so I'm going to use some brush corduroy, some gathered twigs, and then the black soot. So when we're adding the shading to the tree, remember our light source is here, okay? So everything down here darker, everything up here lighter. So I'm going to do the brush corduroy. We might have to do it all black. We'll have to see since we have the stenciling and they're not dyes. So we'll just have to see how it comes out. We might be able to get away with it. We might not. All right. And then the gathered twigs. And then the black soot, which will be the majority of the, you know what I mean? The tree is backlit, so we're not going to have like a ton of detail or anything like that. I'm just trying to leave this edge just a little bit lighter. Okay. All right, let's see how that looks. I think it's going to be okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. All right, and then I'm going to do one over here. So it's like a little, okay. Mask this off. Get that little guy for sure. All right. That one will probably give me a hard time because it's so wet, but that's all right. We'll do our best to pay attention. All right. I'm going to hold that down there. And now this one, the light source is like directly above it. So when we do our shading, it's going to be different than the other one. Okay. There's that. Then this. Thank you, Denise. That's very kind of you to say. All right, so now, because it's right here and its light would be coming this way, the majority of our shadow is going to be down at the bottom, and the lightest parts are going to be kind of here across the tips. All right, and then the black. Okay. And we can even, let me get this up. And we could even, if we wanted to, like if we wanted it to look like our trees continued on down after the hill, we could even do some other ones. Maybe I'll do this little guy because it'll look further away. So we'll do him over here. But then he'll look like he's behind the hill and that he's further away than the rest of the trees. So it gives the impression, the depth, that the trees continue on down. I do want to mask this though. Did you see almost what I almost did? Did you see what I almost did? What a nightmare. Woo! Y'all. Just ink blending like a lunatic right over the rest of the scene. Like, who am I even? Oh, you gotta mask that off. All right, let's try it again. Let's try it again. All right. And like for the ones that are further away, they will, I was trying to tell you, but you couldn't hear me. I believe you, Susan. The ones that are further away will probably end up being mostly black, but in order for it to have that kind of warm undertones, you really do need to put the brown down first. All right, and then we'll do one maybe over here. Let me scoot it over so that that is masked. All right. And then I'm just gonna do it like that. I'm just gonna do like that. And then this way I can. There we go. See, it don't have to be fancy, y'all. What masking paper are you using? So for the one that I die cut, I use Altenews masking paper. I do like that one for die cutting, as well as Gina K's masking paper for die cutting. For this one, this is Eclipse masking paper, and it's been my favorite for years and years. Though, like I said, the industry is changing, and not everybody sells it anymore because masking with dyes being the new thing, not everybody is masking like they used to. It's a dying art. All right. So now we got a couple of trees further off in the background and these two trees up here in the foreground. All right. Let me gather up my items. I am going to wipe this off because otherwise I will set it somewhere and I will get ink everywhere. Exactly, Connie. I will get ink everywhere. All right. So we're going to do that. And then we'll set that aside. And then now we can pop this guy off. So here's the thing. Even if you didn't want to do like the window, the lights, the any of that, okay? Let's say you're making a Halloween card for what a friend who likes Halloween, your kids, your grandkids, kids in the neighborhood, like you could just do this, like what we've just done, and then, you know, pop our little ghosts in. Wouldn't some tombstones look so cool here with our little ghosts flying around? Like, that would be adorable. Like, look at these little guys. Look at them. Stop it. You have a package coming. I have the Altenew one and don't care for it. Roberta, what are you sending me? The Altenew one what? Okay, so anyway, you could just do this and it would be very adorable. That's not what we're doing because we have to be extra. Why? Because that's the way God made me. Okay, so now here's our little window scene. Okay, this is what we'll see through the window with our little windowsill. Stop it. It's so cute. It's the most adorable. Okay. So now look at that moon illuminating. Okay. So now we got to trim it. It's scary, I know, but we got to do it anyway. So now we got to, where did I put my die? Because I lost my lines. So I got to trace it again. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Oh, masking paper. Really, you don't like Altenew's masking paper? That's the one I just used. I like theirs. If you don't mind answering me, would you tell me what you don't like about it? I would be curious to know. All right. So here is our scene. Let me get my pencil. You know what would be fun? We're not going to do it because I don't have time. But you could actually get like 2 for 1 out of here. You could do another window and like reverse it. Use this outside piece as like the outside looking into the house through the window to the inside of the house. That would be fun. All right. Now we got to cut it. So here's why I'm not going to do the die cutting the window and using the negative space to cover up the outside. So because these ones cut out each individual window panel, and so I don't want to be chasing my whole scene around with the individual window panel when I know that I'm going to be tucking my ghosts in. So that is why I'm not just die cutting it again. Oh, it's too sticky. I can see how that might be an issue. It is one of the ones that's easier to die cut, though. That's mainly what I use it for, is when I need to die cut a mask. And this, again, this does not have to be perfection because this is the outside edge. So there's a whole edge here that we won't even see because the window is going to cover it up. Great. I'm so glad I got my scissors back. Here's the thing. I'm not a bougie card maker for the most part. Okay. I'm really not. But there are some things that as you are, oh, see, now we got to go because I did the outside edge. I got to go closer. I'm going to go closer after we put it all together. I don't think I have the courage to go closer freehand. Okay. Am I using Neenah 80 pound? Yes, I am. All right, except for this one. This is Breeze from Spellbinders, I think. All right, so here's the inside of our house, okay? Here's our little outside scene. Here's our window. Maybe we don't even need the lights. What do you guys think? Do we even need the lights? I gotta scoot this up. I don't think I like the blue. That is very cute. I don't think I like this. I think we need a darker contrast. I don't think I want to do black, but that doesn't mean... Let's see. It's probably going to make a huge difference. And it does. Yeah, see, we need a darker background to make our whole window scene pop. This is one of the things that I'm working on for my next class is talking about how, like, when you know something isn't working, how, like, different steps you can take to figure out what it is that is the trouble. And in this case, it was contrast. That was what the trouble was. All right. So I think we're going with the black, but I still do like the Argyle for a little bit of added interest. So we're going to dump that off and I'm going to trim this down. All right. So I'm going to go with I think the initial idea of using the cover plate is like tone on tone wallpaper, I think will still work. I think we just have to modify the color. I just think there was not enough contrast. Like, I don't think we have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We just need to readjust that little bit of contrast. What are we thinking about the lights? I almost think we don't need them. Like, I think we have a lot going on, and because of the way we ink blended, like, it's already glowing. I don't even think we need the twinkle lights. Surprised you didn't use navy. I know, but that's the color of the sky, and I don't want to compete with it. But I do love the blue. I do love a blue. All right, hold on. Come in. Right. And then back through. I do have another idea I have so many ideas, not enough time to execute them. Okay, good. So we're all in agreement. Why we don't think we need the lights. I have so many ideas and not enough time to execute the ideas that I have. But I do have another idea for these ghosts. And I think that you will probably see that before the Halloween season is out. I don't know that I'll be able to kick the idea because you know how sometimes like you just can't make something else until you have gotten the idea out. I pulled out some twinkle lights to maybe put like into the background, but I don't think we need them. I'm partial to the lights, so don't tell me. And I say, I know, girl, I am too. I am partial to the lights as well. All right, so here, I don't know if you can tell, like we do have it's not enough to compete with it. It's just enough to add a little bit of interest. And we're still getting that pop. And then our little window, and then we'll put our little ghosts in. I think, yeah. All right, so I am going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Didn't we have 6? We have a plane. We're missing. There he is. We're missing the other pumpkin. Okay. All right. So what can we do? We got to do something with this moon, I think. Because right now he's just flat, flat, flat. And you know that I cannot have that. I can't have no flat moon. All right, so I'm going to do a light gray, but I'm going to do a warm. All right. Nope. Where's my colorless blender go? Did I just drop it? Don't be like that. Okay. All right. So I just have a warm gray. Okay. And I'm just doing it on its side. Okay. Just pick a side. Don't do it throughout the whole moon. Question. What are these lights you're talking about? Let me show you. Let me finish the moon and then I'll show you. Okay. All right. So then this is just a colorless blender and I'm going to go right over top, just tapping right over that gray to help blend it out. And that's going to give it so much more depth than just a flat little moon. See, look, doesn't that look so much better? And it was just one color and a colorless blender. Like, that's all we did. It's worth it. All right. These were the twinkle lights. So they do flash and they twinkle. That is what I was going to, I thought that would be fun to put in there. But I don't think we need it. All right. So now we got to do I'm going to scoop these and put them there. Hey now. And I think I am going to use this Trick or Treat sentiment. Let me grab a black scrap, a scrappy scrap. You know, I ain't got none but scraps in here. All right, here's this. Oh, Joy, if you have not seen those lights, I haven't used the twinkle ones, I don't think, in a video, but I've used lots of other ones in on my channel. So if you're interested in seeing them, there's a lot in there. All right. So I gotta put these little ghosts away so that I can stamp my sentiment. All right. There was so much good stuff to use in this release. They did like these little caramel apple dies, which I love and really wanted to make my sister a card with those. And they're sold out. They're sold out. And I catch a lot of flack when I use a product that's sold out in a video. So I will wait until they're back in stock and I will be using them. Okay. Oh, see, they are so fun, aren't they? I do love them. I'll have to. Did you share? I do follow you on Facebook. Did you share your mermaids on Facebook? Did I see them? All right. We're gonna do the little trick or treat. Oh, you're so kind. I'm glad that you think that they're beautiful. I try to leave in all the boo-boos though, so everybody knows that it's not always easy. But we're all just making it work, you know? We're all just going through and making it work. Okay. I don't want to flip my. Did I pull that? I did. Y'all. It's easier to find on IG, but it was with. I love Christopher from Bruce Monroe. I think he's such a wonderful human being. I will have to go look on IG and see. All right. Anti-static tool. White pigment ink. Stamp 3 times. And then white detail embossing powder. So that's, I do appreciate that you think I bounce back quickly. That's one of the things that, like I am working on a new class that will be more of like a boot camp style class. But it really concentrates on how to make card makers more successful by teaching you things that you can do to help yourself so that you don't take days to figure out how to fix the problem. Like, I think that's, I remember like working full time and, you know, having things with, well, at the time it was just Peanut, but, you know, having things with my family, with my kids, and, you know, I only had a limited amount of time to do my hobby, which was the thing that brought me like the most joy and how I decompressed from a very stressful job. And like, I would be so desperate to get in there and get something accomplished. And then I would run into an issue and like I would leave feeling frustrated or aggravated because, you know, I only had 2 hours to create and I couldn't finish the project that I was working on because things just weren't working out. And like some days will absolutely still be like that, but you know, if there's things that we can do that will help us to be more successful in the limited amount of time that we have to create, then like I think that that's worth teaching. Oh, Lori, I didn't even see you sneak in. Busy morning and I have to leave for the start of the implant. Redo the old one is over 20 years old, but the gums are seeing the area enough so to have to bone graft start again. Oh, Lori. I'm sorry about that. And I feel for you. Okay. So now the sentiments. This cute little trick or treat. Oh, knocking stuff over. That's all right. That's all right. Okay, let's pop this little guy out of here. So this, because we use the anti-static tool, like it's not as vibrant as it could be. So I like to take it and I will just like rub it on my pant leg or rub it on my shirt. You have to make sure that it's cooled off first. And then that gets rid of all that dust so it comes back to like a true black. All right. Now, what if I glue the outline and then trim it, but I don't glue the middle because then I could still slide the ghosts in behind it. And I do like that. Let's try that. No, because what if I want to do one on the outside? All right. Let's see if there's any I need to glue before I glue this. 6 is an even number, so we probably won't use all the ghosts. So we'll have to make a decision. I do like this one with the broom up here by the moon. I think that's fun. All right, so we got a little ghost there. And then, because we also want to have a decent amount of ones facing different directions to make it more interesting. I think the one with the little pail makes sense because we're using the trick or treat sentiment. And then we'll maybe put this here. Scoot him down a smidge. One, two, three. I don't know that I can fit 5 in here. Maybe down here in the corner. 1, 2, 3 more. It's almost like the him might go here, but then he would have to. All right. I think that might be okay. Oh, Melissa, no worries. Maybe up by the moon. Well, then if I do up by the moon, I got to use this one because this guy's facing the wrong direction. So up here, maybe like that. And then we get rid of this guy. Yee. Oh my gosh, stop it. Get out. All right. I feel like that puts us off. Maybe if I move this over. And then scoop him down. Scoop him over. No, I don't like that. Pardon. This way, maybe? All right, let me. What if we scoot him down and over? Move the sentiment over. Scoot him back this way. Him up maybe a little. Balance is a struggle, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I almost feel like the moon is acting like a extra ghost. All right. And then maybe scooch this little guy maybe more fully into the frame. Like that. That's not too terrible. And then this would probably be better to just be centered then. Okay. I don't. The closest thing I have is this with the brooms. I feel like it's getting really crowded. So let me take him out of here. I like the sentiment offset. I think we need the little pale guy. Maybe if I pull him up. Excuse me. Thank you. Maybe if we pull him up this way. And then come with me. All right. I think what if we go over here with the sentiment and move this guy? Pull him back toward. You can't see his broom though. And then maybe do this guy over here. What about that? Oh, I think that is maybe better. And then this guy can come up a little bit more here so we can still see the sky. I think I like that. And then we have our little windowsill down here. I do think the whole thing needs to come up a little bit so that it has a little bit more balance. There we go. Because even though we have 4 ghosts, we actually have 5 elements with the sentiment. So I think that should be okay. All right, so now I'm going to pop this off and I'm going to glue down my ghosts. I'm going to try to just put the adhesive behind the colored parts. Because I know I'm going to be able to see it some, but at least if I keep it contained, it does seem like it's a little gloopy, so that's why I'm tapping it. All right. Okay. And then this one, we'll just do behind the jack-o'-lantern. So the coloring does do a lot to mask that, the adhesive. And I don't have to be particular about how well they're secured because they all overlap with the frame, and the frame will also hold them in place. And then for this one, I'm going to do his tail and his arm. I don't have anywhere to hide it, but these are places that are going to be behind the frame. So, hi, Julie. So I don't have to worry about that really showing as much. Okay. All right. Then I will put on the frame. I think I actually might pop. I have not been lately popping up a lot of things, but I think I might take the time to pop up this window. Okay. Alrighty. Now remember, we do have to trim off the extra. Trying to make sure that I don't accidentally clip that die. Nope. There. Nope. There we go. There's that. Okay. All right. Now they're all contained in the window. Now you could, oh, Julie, I didn't know you were in the hospital. What did I just drop? The sentiment. Yep, that's important. Where, there it is. What are you in the hospital for? What are you admitted for? Okay. Now, you absolutely could do, I'm doing mine so that mine are, outside, but you could, pop one of these in front or pop one of these hanging off the corner, you know what I mean, if you wanted to. I just kept mine confined to the outside, and I'm fine with that. Heart rate issues. Oh. All right, and then there's this. So let me go ahead and attach that. Just going to glue that right down. Scoot that over. It'd probably be better if I don't do it on the actual card. All right, that looks even. Okay. I am going to, I'm going to use that same warm gray. Bye, Lori. Good luck with your implant. I'm using that same warm gray that we used for the moon, and just adding a little bit of shading underneath the sill, and then on the, this will be out here, and this will be out here. Okay. Again, nothing you have to do. Hi, Mary. All right, so I do think I am going to pop this up. I think that'll be really cute. So let me put the sentiment on. Okay. We decided that's going to go here. I think it's so cute. I love these little vellum ghosts. All right. These are ones we did not use. Foam and oh, I have some right here. You know what? This one's a little bit wider. Okay. This one does not have a ton of lift, but it does have enough to make it interesting. Put the extras on the inside or in the envelope. That's a good idea. I don't chaos, like Halloween is chaos around here, so I typically don't give my kids Halloween cards because I'm too busy trying to make their Halloween special. But my sister does usually give her grandsons Halloween cards. So I have been making more kid style cards, though honestly, anybody I know that loves Halloween would be happy to receive this card. All right. So now I have absolutely done the same thing. It won't be today. It'll more than likely, or it won't be, yeah, no, it'll more likely be tomorrow, but I will update the supply list on the live. So you don't have to worry about taking notes. I will update that. All right, so let's make sure we're centered and we're even. All right. There we go. Look at how cute. This is different than what I had envisioned, but it's so funny how like one thing can totally change how you want your card to go. Because like as soon as we stamped those little ghosts on vellum, I was like, I'm all in on these vellum ghosts. These are adorable. All right, I am going to, of course, add some shimmer. to the moon, to our little ghost friends. I am being careful. I don't think this StazOn will smear because it is archival. So I don't think a little bit of moisture is going to bother it. So I am going to add some sparkle there. And like I said, to the moon. And then I am going to add a little white gel pen. You can put that on vellum. You just don't touch it until after it's dry. So I'm going to do on our little candy corn, and then on our little ghosts, we'll do some highlights, help them stand out and people actually be able to see them, you know. All right. I don't think I'm going to put any gemstones on it. I think I'm just going to leave it. I think I'm going to leave it just like that. So I think they're so cute. I went for a walk and please, you're still on. Loved how this turned out. It's a different background, but I love it. It's different than what we intended also. So let me Joy, I think Kelly can answer your question. Okay, let me go back and look for Joy's question. Okay. Everyone, what supplies can I buy from Pretty Green Fashion you'd recommend? Okay. There's, oh, I'm very blurry. Let me sit still for a second and see if we come back around. There we are. They have lots of really great products. If you like interactive stuff, they have a ton of that. Love their like shaker stuff. They have really cute stamps. I love that they're still one of the companies that produces consistently stamps and dies with each one of their release. I'm always drawn to them. I love them so much, as you can tell from today's live. Their stamps are good quality, their dies are good quality. Whatever you're buying from them, you can't go wrong. And she has a ton of wonderful embellishments as well. So I think that's it. If you guys don't have any more questions, thank you so much for spending your time with me. I know that your time is precious and I appreciate you spending it here with me. I think this card came out so adorable. I'm really happy with it. I see more vellum ghosts in my future for sure. So thank you guys so much. I do appreciate you. And I will have a video up tomorrow, not today, but tomorrow. So, oh, good. I have fun unpacking your craft room. I do not envy you. That is a rough one for me. Packing and unpacking. No, thank you. So, all right. Well, thank you guys so much. I hope that you have a good Thursday, and I will catch you on the next one. Okay. Bye.